Well, you know, I could be hunted and die. Oh, and there's also Sakura, yes. Senpai, I finished locking up the house. Sakura's coming with me too. Sakura typically goes to school with Fujini because she's a member of the Kyoto Club. But this morning, Sakura stayed put in the living room, helped clean up after breakfast, and waited for me to go to school. Did you give Sakura a key to your house, Jiro? I mean, yeah. Is there a problem with that? I did. Sakura's never done anything bad, and she's been a big help to me all this time. So with all that in mind, I can't give you a spare key, but that won't bother you, right? You do realize, like, it's not difficult to copy keys. Like, they have, like, machines for it and stuff. I don't mind. What's that supposed to mean? You do bad stuff. You probably don't even need a key anyway. I'm not foolish enough to make something so unnecessary. Oh, that's so. Fine. You're right, I won't need something like that anyway. I'll just blast your doors open with magic, alright? If that's what you want. Tasaka turns her head, huffing. Maybe I'm just getting used to her, but I'm starting to find these mannerisms of hers fascinating. Sakura, don't feel guilty. You know, first come, first served. The key is yours. Huh? What's wrong, Sakura? If you're done locking up, let's go. We've got Tasaka this morning too, so I want to get to school as early as possible. Yes, you're right. Well, we should go, if you insist. Sakura's reply is pretty unenthusiastic, and she trails behind us. This isn't good. Sakura has seemed down ever since Tasaka convinced Fujini to back off. Fujini might have consented, but I have a feeling Sakura isn't convinced. I probably need to talk to her. Yeah, I should find a way to give these two time to get along and be friends. The sloped road is packed with students. It's 7:30, which is the busiest time for students getting to school. Among the flock of students, I stand out, and I can feel everyone's stares since I'm in pretty famous company. Maybe she forgot something. But Tasaka's been quiet the entire time. What's wrong, Tasaka? You've been acting weird ever since we reached the hill. Am I acting odd this morning? No, you're not odd, but your behavior is. Senpai, that is contradictory. I do not believe that was what Miss Tasaka was asking. Huh? Then what was Tasaka asking? Women, am I right? Jeez. Everyone is staring at Miss Tasaka, so she was worried there was something wrong with her appearance. Isn't that right? I see your logic, don't get me wrong. Would never have thought of that in a million years, though. Yeah, do I look weird to you, Sakura? It's because you're with this weirdo. You're not weird, I'm the weirdo. It's weird, I may have been sleepy this morning, but I still blow-dried my hair. I don't think there's a single wrinkle in my uniform. Maybe I have bags under my eyes because I slept in a new, unfamiliar place last night? What are you yelling at me for? It's not my fault if you couldn't sleep, and even if that's why you've got bags under your eyes, it's no big deal, just forget it. How dare you? Girls care about their appearance from the moment they're born. I've always tried so hard to look perfect, at least on the outside, but I guess my streak ends today. Again. Why are you yelling at me? I don't know what's going on here, Tasaka, but it's definitely not my fault. Take your frustration out on someone or something else. Please do not worry, Miss Tasaka. You're as beautiful today as always. Everyone's staring at you because you're with us, since you've never come to school with anyone before. So that's why I'm being treated like this. I'm not insulted, but I thought I'd figured out how school works after 10 years. I guess there's still some mysteries left at school for me. Tasaka ponders this seriously. Hold on. What kind of person ignores someone telling them they're as beautiful as always? You really don't get it, do you? Of course people will notice if you come to school with someone. Especially if that person is a guy. Exactly, but Miss Tasaka really doesn't care about that kind of thing. That's why there have never been any romantic rumors about her. Hold on, wait. I'm not saying you're lying to me, Sakura. However, are you planting this idea in my head to try to get rid of competition? That's good to know. That means there's only been one victim who was taken in by her parents and suffered the consequences. I was to do that part to Sakura as we walk a bit behind Tasaka, who still looks puzzled. We walk through the school gate, stairs following us the whole way. I only need to endure the stairs a little longer, since we will all separate once we get into the school building. I'm not really up to seeing the source of my headache first thing in the morning. Tasaka mutters to herself as we head toward the campus. Following Tasaka's gaze, I see a familiar face pushing his way through the crowd of students. Sakura! Oh, it's my brother. Sakura shivers at the sight of him. Shinji acts like he doesn't see us. Instead, he makes a beeline for Sakura and says, "Why didn't you come to the dojo? Who do you think you are, taking a day off without telling me?" Shinji raises his hand. Sir! Instinctively. Yo, Shinji. Working hard first thing in the morning, huh? I grab his hand and greet him. Emiya? You. So you are at Mia's house again, Sakura? Yes, I wanted to help Senpai, but that's... It's your duty as his junior to do that? That's such bullshit. You have no responsibility to help the guy who hurt himself. Your job is to listen to me. Shinji huffs as he lowers his hand. I have no reason to hold on to his hand if he's not going to hit Sakura, so I let go. Do you take some kind of sick pleasure in getting in our way, Emiya? Sakura's a member of the Kyoto Club, so stop forcing her to do shit for you that makes her skip practice, okay? I don't have a response to that. Having Sakura come to my place to make breakfast does hold her up in the mornings. That's not true. I help Senpai out because I want to. I think you're going a bit too far, brother. Too far? That's my line, Sakura. So what if Emiya lives alone? If he says he's fine alone, then you can just leave him be. I bet Emiya's more relaxed that way anyway. That's a terrible thing to say. Fine, but no more going to Mia's house from now on. You didn't come to practice even though I told you to, so you should get ready for some punishments. Man, these two could... They're related? These two could not be more different personality-wise. Sakura gasps and freezes. Shinji tries to grab Sakura and pull her away, but the instant he does... Morning, Mato. I thought I'd just listen and not get involved, but that's quite the conversation you're having. Tosaka? Why you with Sakura? Shouldn't be that big of a surprise. Sakura's Mia's friend, and I'm an acquaintance of Mia. That's why the three of us walked to school together this morning. Did you not notice? What? You know a Mia? That's right. As a matter of fact, we're good enough friends that we might keep going home and coming to school together. Which is why I'm considering being friends with Sakura too. With Emiya? Oh no. Oh man. Oh no. This guy already didn't like me. Now the girl he was after. Oh, dang it. Shinji glares at me. Naturally. It might be my imagination, but I feel a murderous intent from his that goes way beyond just animosity. And while I haven't really been getting along with Shinji lately, I don't remember doing anything that would make him resent me anywhere near this much. Don't be ridiculous. This is a bad joke. Just Saga. There's no way you would hang around with a guy like Emiya. Oh, I know, you probably got it all wrong. Yeah, sure, I was friends with Emiya before, but we're not anymore. Me and I are long since done being friends, so you don't get anything by being friends with him. Oh man, this guy. Is that so? Well, that's a relief, since I never had the slightest interest in you. Whoa there. I feel bad for Shinji. Don't? Yeah, no. We do. Speaking on behalf of me and the audience, no, we don't feel bad for Shinji. If I were in his shoes, Tasaka's words would be traumatic enough. I probably wouldn't recover for a good while. Hey, you. Oh, and by the way, Mato, about your conversation earlier, I thought morning practice for the Kyoto Club were voluntary? I've never heard that you needed permission to be absent. I'm sure this would be news to Miss Fujimura and Ayaka as well. Ugh. Shut up! It's none of your business what an older brother tells his little sister. Don't poke your nose in our family affairs. Okay, still good. Oh, I completely agree. That's why you shouldn't have anything to say about Emiya's home either. Honestly, you've got some nerve causing a scene like this so early in the day, Mato. Shinji retreats a step, still glaring at Sakura and me in the process. Fine. I forgive you for this morning. You won't get a second chance, Sakura. If something like that happens again, I'll put you in your place once and for all. Shinji heads towards the school building after making his big pronouncement. He's turned tail and run after Chisaka gave him such a dressing down. I'm so sorry, Senpai. My brother was so rude to you. Well, not as rude as he was to you. Sakura's apologizing, not just to me, but to Chisaka as well. Don't worry about it. It was actually a nice way to start the day. The gears in my head are oiled up and turning at full speed now. I love a good argument, you know? And I should be the one apologizing. I might have gone a bit too far. He still has a reputation to think about. And I shouldn't have said something like that in front of everyone at school, you know? If Mato acts all down from this, go ahead and cheer him up. And tell him he can spar with me anytime he likes. Yes, if brother hasn't learned anything from this incident, then please spar with him again, Miss Chisaka. Relieved, Sakura smiles cheerfully. Tosaka seems suddenly bashful and looks away. And you too, senpai. Please try not to get mad at him either. Why not? He's like like ultra jerk. Your brother's only friend. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Sakura, but if I'm his only friend, then well, I'm sorry to report, but he's got none. I know, it's probably impossible for me to not to get mad, but I've known Shinji's like that since forever. I can see us getting close again at some point, so I'll take baby steps with him. Yes, I look forward to seeing that happen, senpai. Sakura quickly bows. Yeah. The only thing I get really mad at Shinji about is the way he treats his sister like crap. Let's have another good day, senpai. Sakura heads to the first year floor. Tosaka and I climbed the stairs to the second year floor. Whoa! And run right into the student council president. Why are you with Tosaka, CMeeCraft? Oh, full names, even. Oh, good morning, Yoto. What kind of greeting is... Whoa! I woke up feeling like something was off this morning, but I never thought it could be this dire. Ugh, just come over here, Amiya. Staying so close to Tosaka might poison you. Poison me? How? Issei tugs on my arm. Hard. Tosaka looks at Issei and me without a word, then walks toward Class 2A as if nothing happened. Go on ahead, nobody's stopping you. Tosaka silently passes by. But then... Shiro, rooftop, lunch. She whispers that to me, so Issei won't hear. It's lunchtime! After seeing Tosaka and me in the morning, Issei hasn't been speaking to me. He's been treating me like a traitor? Dude! Come on, you're like the good guy! You're my actually like cool, chill friend that doesn't abuse his sister. Emotionally and physically. I guess I went too far? I feel just a bit of regret. Issei interrogated me about why I was with Tosaka this morning, and my response was, we got close over the weekend? Okay, sheesh. Emiya, how is it? Like, there are so many different ways you could explain this. Why does every single way you would try to explain this to various people sound like you hooked up with her? Like, come on. Like, anything. Like, we got close over the weekend. Like, I mean, oh yeah, I bet you got real close, didn't you? Like, come on, man. That was not a great idea. You don't say. I expected Issei's next set of questions to be about how and why we got close, but before I could explain further, Issei staggered away. Well, I guess it works to my advantage, since I need to do things alone for a while. Having fewer people involved will make things easier. Anyway, the first thing I need to do is... go meet Tosaka or explain everything to Sakura. I mean, Tosaka did arrange for us to meet on the roof. I'm not sure what we would even be explaining to Sakura necessarily. Like, I doubt we're gonna explain the full, like, context of like the Grail War or something to her. Like, I'm inclined to just go meet Tasaka. Like, the second option depends a great deal on what everything entails. Because quite frankly, it probably wouldn't even be a good idea to explain literally everything to Sakura. So, yeah, I don't think this is a hard choice. I think we go meet Tasaka. Either this is a fast pass to a bad end or the romance options. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even think about the bad ending, but yeah, I guess this is a visual novel with bad endings from what I have heard. Oh, speaking of which, actually, how do I get to... I'm supposed to... I remember I read a comment, someone said that, like, these are actually important things to, like, read, so let's actually take a look at this and study our, the servants. So we got servants, we got weapons. Okay. So, we got Saber. Saber's master is me, of course. True name, who knows. Gender, female. Height, weight, I mean, that's probably not very relevant, but okay, she's lawful good. Status, her strength is a B. Okay. Con, that's, like, not consumption, but, like the D&D stats is a C. Constitution. Her agility is a C. Her MGI. I mean, MGI is either magic or might. I'll say it's magic, since that seems like a good stat. So that's going to be M. Or not. Her magic is a B. Her luck is a B. And Noble Phantasm is a C. Okay, so pretty good stats all around. We don't know anything out here info, probably because we don't know her true name. Skill. Okay. Sheesh. It's literally like reading a D&D, like, character sheet. Okay, magic resistance A cancels all magecraft below A. In reality, modern mages cannot hurt Saber. Good. Riding B, the riding ability, can ride most things better than the average person, but can't ride beasts that are demonic and holy rank beasts. Now, I've got a question about this one. So, obviously, like, you inherently think, oh, riding a horse or something. First question is, can we get a bit more outlandish with the beasts, like, with what she's riding? Like, can she ride, like, a zebra or a bear, effectively? And then secondly, like, does it extend to driving? Like, would she be, like, sick if we got her behind the wheel of a car? As long as it's not a demonic car. Okay. Like, so no, like, pentagrams or anything on the paint job, obviously. Intuition A, the ability to... Saber busted at Mario Kart. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm thinking. Perhaps that is the case. The ability to constantly sense the best course of action for oneself during battle. A well-honed sixth sense is akin to precognition. It reduces disturbances that interfere with vision and hearing by half. Okay, that seems pretty good. And Mana Burst A. It wraps magical energy around her weapon or her own body and improves its abilities by releasing that energy in an instant. In other words, it is a jet thruster made of magical energy? Okay. Not only does Saber use magical energy for swordplay, she also utilizes it for defense and movement. She's able to fight Berserker despite having the physique of a young girl because of her massive amount of magical energy. An ordinary weapon that has no powerful divine protection cannot endure her magical energy-filled attacks and would be destroyed with a single blow. Good to know. Noble Phantasm. Invisible Air. Barrier of the Wind King. The unseen... So it ranks C. This is anti-personnel. Range 1 to 2. Max targets 1. The unseen sword. It doesn't let the enemy know the weapon's distance. It is simple but proves to be tremendously effective in hand-to-hand combat. It is a noble phantasm protected by powerful magecraft, so it does not mean that the sword itself is invisible. The sword blade, sheathed in wind, changes the refractive index of light and makes the original shape of the sword invisible. It is not exactly a vacuum state, but the wind wrapped around the blade itself is a lethal weapon, and seems to increase the destructive power of slashing attacks. It can only create a vacuum state in the instant that the compressed wind is released. In instances where the target of the attack has resistance to modifications caused by visual disturbances, a modification of hit accuracy due to Barrier of the Wind King will be ineffective. In addition to making the blade invisible, it can also release the compressed wind and shoot it as a single-use projectile weapon. In that case, the damage is limited and isn't affected by Saber's own magical energy or physical strength. Okay. Interesting. So I presume we probably, like, have no info on, like, okay, we know theoretically there's probably an assassin and a caster and a rider. We do know about Lancer. But anyways, Berserker, though, is, of course, her main. Oh, wow. Those are some good stats. A's across the board aside from luck. So Saber has PTV. That should be helpful. Seems like it. A plus in strength. Okay. Right, he's with her. Heracles, male. Height 253 centimeters? That is very tall. And that's got to be like, I want to say around 7'8", 7'9", maybe. In feet. His alignment is chaotic madness. Interesting. Oh, sheesh. Got a whole like Wikipedia page here. Alright, hero info. The greatest hero in Greek mythology, the demigod hero, is a product of the chief deity Zeus and a human woman. Heracles was skilled in every aspect, but there was a big problem with his personality. During his childhood, he beat his lyre teacher to death over a trivial matter. He then spent his days as a shepherd until adulthood in order to reform himself into a composed man. Heracles, who grew up to be a fine young man, accomplished many great deeds that caused the king of Thebes to grant his daughter Megara to him. They had 2 children, and he earned the right to succeed the king. Heracles was young and strong, and had already become an existence that no human could hope to defeat. It seemed as if the rest of Heracles' life with his family was going to be smooth sailing. However, Zeus's wife, Hera, detested Heracles because he was the child of Zeus and a human, and influenced his fate at every opportunity. Hera instilled madness in Heracles, which made him go insane, and he ended up killing Megara and his 2 children. Troubled by the sins that he committed, he received an oracle. He was to atone by becoming a slave to the 4 Eurystheus, the man who snatched the kingship that would have originally been his claim. Eurystheus was jealous of the strong hero Heracles and gave him many difficult tasks, declaring that he would stay a slave until he finished them. They were labors that could not be achieved by regular humans. They became widely known as the 12 labors of Heracles. There were only 10 labors that the gods had imposed as punishment for Heracles' sins, but 2 more labors were added by the king, because he did not approve of the fulfillment of 2 of them. But Heracles managed to complete even those tasks, and it may have been because he had just been granted freedom, but he even received an immortal body as proof of his great deeds. This marked the beginning of the legend of the greatest hero of Greece, Heracles, who accomplished deeds equivalent to the Agro expedition and the Trojan War by himself. However, Heracles' life after that was filled with madness. Hera's hatred was endless, and Heracles, who was supposed to be immortal, was poisoned. Note this one. Poisoned by one of his wives. The great hero, who fought a competitive battle against the sun god as a human, was slowly getting killed due to the goddess's persistent jealousy. While on the verge of his death, Heracles burned his own body, which was still afflicted with poison, and entrusted himself to Zeus's judgment. The gods approved of Heracles' great deeds in a conference and prepared a seat for him in Olympus after his death, effectively deifying him. Heracles went mad many times in Greek mythology, but originally he was an excellent soldier who could use any weapon. Heracles actually possesses attributes that could allow him to be categorized as any of the regular servant classes, excluding caster. The best noble phantasm that he owns was earned during the 12 labors. It is a bow and arrow called 9 Lives. Okay, Madness Enhanced. It increases the rank of the parameter, but takes away most of one's reasoning. Battle Continuation. The ability to survive. It makes it possible to fight on the verge of death and survive as long as there are no definitive fatal wounds. Mind's Eye. False. Not sure why it's false. Avoiding danger by intuition or sixth sense. Valor. A+. The ability to nullify mental interference such as coercion, confusion, and bedazzlement. It also has the effect of increasing combat damage. However, because he is currently being Madness Enhanced due to his class ability, this skill cannot take effect. So sorry for wasting your time there. He has no Valor. Divinity. Whether or not one has Divine Spirit aptitude, the higher it is, the more physically mixed with Divine Spirit one is. Being Zeus' son and having been welcomed by the gods after his death, Heracles' Divine Spirit aptitude can be considered to be one of the highest class. Or of the highest class, yes. Noble Phantasm. Who knows? Immortality that was gained from God's blessing, or curse possibly. It's an anti-personnel, max targets 1. Turns the body into a sturdy armor. Nullifies all attacks ranked B or lower. Now, in terms of weapons, we are aware of the unnamed axe sword. The stone sword that Berserker uses, the Einsburns, procured it from the foundation of a temple and used it as a catalyst to summon Heracles. Heracles was especially proficient with the bow, but he has lost his weapons and techniques due to his madness enhancements. I see. Okay, well, I mean, there's more servants here to read up on. Lancer, for one. Archer, for another. But we'll come back to them later. Man, Archer has some pretty bad luck stats. For now, let's get back to the actual story. Let's see. I promised to meet Tasaka. It may have been her dictating to me, but she probably has something to talk about. I buy lunch and head to the rooftop. The rooftop is typically packed with other students when it's warmer, but it's deserted into in the winter chill. Although winter in Fuyuki is comparatively warmer, the rooftop gets unbearably cold. So the only people exposed to the cold wind are myself and... You're late! What was the holdup? Tosaka, shivering in the shadows. At least sit in the sun. I don't help much, but a bit at least. Sorry I'm late. I felt bad, so I brought you something to make up for it. But I guess you don't need it. I show her the warm canned coffee I brought, and I put it back in my pockets. Okay, so while we're on the topic of, like, you know, coldness in winter, like, one thing that I think is actually kind of crazy, because the seasons are dictated by the tilt of the Earth, right? It's like, you know, Earth is like this. I even have a globe actually back here on my set. Anyway, so, like, we have the Earth here, right? So it's not, like, upright, it's tilted, right? And so, like, you know, if the sun is here, then the part that's tilted towards the sun is in summer, part that's tilted away is in winter. But, like, that's kind of insane, because that, like, on a cosmic scale, this is a minuscule difference. And yet it's, like, it's the difference between, like, it gets cold enough to, like, freeze water and not in, like, a large portion of the globe. And now, granted, I know it's not I guess it's not a pure distance thing. I think the ankle itself is part of it, but it just seems weird that, like, such a small difference on, like, a cosmic scale can actually still have such a major difference to life on the planet. Because I know that the habitable zone is, like, way bigger than, like, Earth. So it just seems weird that, like, tilting within the habitable zone can have such a difference in terms of it. I guess it's not purely distance, too, though. It's partially distance, but I think it's actually mostly, though, like, the, just the ratio of day to night, I guess, is what does it mostly. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I answered my own question there. Sometimes you just gotta like think about these things out loud and you come to the answer. It's the ratio of day to night that does more so than the distance, I would imagine. In any case. Yeah, so I show her the warm canned coffee I bought and put it back in my pockets. Hey, looking sophisticated, but you're pretty considerate. I did it because I felt like it. And come on, go a little further over there. It's windier over here, and people might see us. I hand her the canned coffee as I head towards the back where I won't be seen. We won't be as conspicuous here, and there's no way anyone from the 4th floor would see us. Thanks. Next time I prefer tea, and I like instant milk tea. Other than that, you'll get no thanks from me, so be warned. Very picky, okay. Very particular. Got it, if I remember next time, that is. So, why'd you call me here? Considering we're meeting where there's nobody else around, I assume you want to talk about you-know-what? Of course! What else would we talk about other than that? I don't know. Life. You know, how you're enjoying your stay. Have any maintenance requests? Any budgetary concerns? You know, any dissatisfaction with the meals as of yet? Any special requests for ingredients that we need to stock in the fridge that I don't normally keep for myself? And yeah, there's lots of things to talk about when you're literally living together. Yeah, you're right. So what's up? Why are you acting so nonchalant? Okay, sorry. Chalant mode activated. Well, it's cold. I want you to make this short. Aren't you cold too, Dasaka? Like, why do you take off your coat specifically for talking on the established cold roof? That doesn't seem very intelligent. What? Of course I am! I was planning on getting this over with real quick too. Yep, I figured. I was just stating the obvious, so she really doesn't need to yell at me like that. Well, fine. Now I'll get right to the point, Shiro. What were you thinking of doing after school? Hadn't really thought of it, honestly. I'll go back home, train a bit, read up on, mythology, maybe. After school, I really don't have any plans, honestly. If I need to help out at the student council, I'll help, but if not, I'll go to my part-time job. Why are you looking so confused? If you have something to say, just tell me. I'll try to address it. Honestly, I may not care what really happens to you, but I guess I'll give you a warning. We have formed an alliance, and you're just too inexperienced as a mage. That again? I'm sick of hearing how inexperienced of a mage I am. I'm actually sensitive about that, so don't bully me. I'm not inexperienced. I've been doing this for like several years. I'm just bad, okay? Which is arguably worse, but, you know. I'm not bullying you. I just want to point out how ignorant you are because you don't seem to notice there's a bounded field set up around the school. What? Bounded field at the school? Hold on. A bounded field at school. Does that mean... You got it. It's a bounded field set up by some other master. So it casts over a wide area, and if it gets activated, it'll pretty much enclose the entire school grounds. It's intended to steal the flesh and blood from all the people within the bounded field. It looks like it's still at its beginning stages, but haven't you noticed how listless everyone seems? Now that she mentions it, I felt strange 2 days ago, but was that why? But that means there's a master at school. Exactly. We have an enemy lurking here. Do you get it now, Mia? If you're not prepared, you'll die. My relaxed demeanor fades and I tense up. So, do you know who this master is, Tosaka? No, I have some ideas, but I don't have solid proof. Well, actually I do know there's another mage in the school, but a mage isn't necessarily a master. Well, who's the other mage? Can you at least tell me that much? There are cases where amateurs become masters like you, so I can't be sure. I'm still a mage, and I'm not a complete amateur. And hey, hold up! Did you just say there's another mage at this school? Yep, but I don't sense any indication they're a master. I checked right away, but they didn't have command spells, and I didn't sense the presence of a servant. Well, I mean, A, the servant could have been hiding, and B, I mean, they could have been hiding the command spells too. I'm not sure if they're always in the same place in every person or not. But even if they are, you could like wear gloves or something. If they're hiding it really well, that's another matter, but I'm pretty sure they're not a master. Okay, can you just tell me who it is? Just in case? Which is why I think the master here is someone who knows only a little bit of MageCraft, like you. I've been feeling a bit of magical energy other than ours here recently. That has to be the enemy master, but it's not enough to track. A master who's not a mage, huh? You must be very sure if you're bringing it up. Though would a master who's not a mage have the wherewithal to set up a bounded field around the entire school? Like that. Now granted, I'm not a mage myself, so I don't really know all the details, but that seems like a pretty advanced level thing to do. I believe you, but I didn't know there were so many mages in our school. It's actually not that many, it's just me and that other mage. Which is? Yeah, mages value their lineage, right? If two families put down roots in a small town like this area, they couldn't help knowing each other. Okay, and who's the other one? Is that what happens? But I didn't know anything about your family. Your household is an exception. Your father had to have alienated himself from the association and been sort of a lone wolf. He probably settled here because he just liked it. But the city is under the Tosaka's family's jurisdiction. Okay, sorry for being a bit of an interloper, I guess. If we had found out, we would have taken everything from him. So I guess he was in hiding to avoid exactly that. Should I take that as like a threat? What the heck? Do you mean about taking everything from him? Curious, I'll come and collect from you once you are properly trained, so I look forward to it. What? Hold on. I thought we were... What? Collect? Collect what? My home? My belongings? My life? Jeez, what a facade you put up. Some honor student you are, you imposter. Oh, is there something wrong with that? Maintaining appearances is part of a mage's job description. Because you know, I'm the Tosaka family's heir, so I have to act like the perfect honor student, or I wouldn't be able to face my father in heaven. What? Your father? He died when I was young. Well, he lived a long and fulfilling life, so I'm not really that sad about it. Maybe the one bound to Castor. Oh, that would make sense. Tosaka smiles as if saying that's just how it goes when you have a mage for a father. But that's a lie. You're sad when someone dies. All the more if that person is your parent. Saying that can't be helped because someone is a mage is no excuse to just gloss over it. Well, you're right. Can't really argue that. You're absolutely right. As she says that, Tasaka opens up the canned coffee she'd been using as a hand warmer until now. She drinks her coffee in small sips. I'd expected her to take a big gulp, honestly, but she's pretty feminine when it comes to things like this. Back on topic. There are only 2 mages in Fuyuki. The other masters are either from outside, or they are irregulars who are chosen to be masters because they know just a little magecraft. That's so. So according to Tasaka, I'm quite the irregularity. I got that, but if there's a master who's barely started learning magecraft, they probably wouldn't be able to create a bounded field like this one. It may not be the master. The servant might have put up the bounded field. Servants can't choose their masters. If a servant ends up with a master like you, the only chance of winning would be if they came up with strategies themselves. Probably. I hate to think of it that way, but I can't argue. Good. I like it when you're so accepting. So with this bounded field, it's quite advanced. So good job there, Jedi Steve. Your theory has been endorsed by Tasaka herself, so well done. It's pretty much at the level of magic, and if there were a mage here who could create something like this, they wouldn't be able to conceal their presence or magical energy. So I believe this bounded field is the work of a servant. The work of a servant, huh? I don't see the master isn't as dangerous. That's not necessarily true. Whether they're mages or not, whoever it is, they don't know the proper rules. That was certainly the type to me to try to kill any master they find. Huh? Not know the rules? The rules of the Holy Grail War? No, rules of just being a human being. If they're making their servant create a bounded field like this, they just flat out don't know right from wrong. Yeah, fair point. Listen, Shiro, once this bounded field is complete and activated, it'll dissolve and absorb everyone inside. Think of it like they're in the belly of some creature. Or rather, we might not be affected by it because we're protecting ourselves with magical energy, but anybody who doesn't possess magical energy will weaken and die without their knowing. This is way beyond just involving ordinary citizens. Though if this bounded field is activated, everyone in the school will die. Do you understand? There's a master in the school who's willing to make a bounded field this awful. My vision blurs momentarily. I take a deep breath so I can make sure I fully comprehend what Tasaka's trying to say. But it stops there. I attempt to imagine the worst possible outcome, even if my imaginings may fall short, and to keep that image deep within my heart and accept the position I've been placed in. I get what you're trying to say. So, Tasaka, can't we try to destroy this bounded field? I tried, but it was impossible. I found all the sources for it, but I can't destroy them. The only thing I can do is to temporarily weaken the sources to delay the whole thing from activating. So as long as you're here, the bounded field can't fully be formed? I can only hope, but that's wishful thinking. The bound field is already set up, and the magical energy needed to activate it is gradually accumulating. According to Archer's estimate, everything will be ready in about 8 days. 8 days? Okay. This might be like a terrible idea, but what if like 7 days from now, or 8 days, or however, whenever this is about to go off, what if we called in a bomb threat? Then they'd have to evacuate the school. Field goes off, no one's in there. Well, I guess aside from probably emergency personnel that we respond. But the whole student body isn't in there. and boom. Or we could burn the school down, commit some good old-fashioned arson. If the school burns down, then there's no reason for people to be there. You know, aside from the cleanup crews or people doing, you know, reconstructing it. But there'd be like bureaucratic red tape before they could actually start building up the school again. So basically, have you considered terrorism? I'm just saying. Sometimes, you know, it's not often, but sometimes a little bit of terrorism, a little bit of crime is the answer. When it's ready, either the master or servant will transform the school into a living hell. Then before that happens, we've got to call in the bomb threat or burn the school down, right? We need to defeat the master lurking in the school. But it'll be challenging to find them. We've pretty much been at their mercy from the moment that battlefield is formed. Master just needs to wait until it's ready to be activated. They'll need to make themselves known until then. So the only chance we have is when they come out, right? Bingo. So you should stay quiet until then. You have to fight whether you like it or not when the time comes, and it'd be stupid to let the enemy find you. For you to go searching for the master yourself. The metallic sound of the school's bell rings out across the frozen rooftop. Lunchtime is over. That's all I've got right now. I have somewhere I need to go today, so go home by yourself. Try not to take any detours. Basaka leaves with a casual bye. This doesn't feel right to me. Learning that masters may attack other masters is enough to make me anxious, but the bounded field around the school? But now there's a possibility that innocent people might get dragged into this too. That's not what masters do. That's just what a mass murderer does. So I need to find whoever set this bounded field up before it's activated. Find them and destroy them utterly. Rejoice, Shiramiya, your wish shall. Who the heck is this? Ugh. I shake my head trying to ignore the words that pop right into my mind. I never wished for this. Wishing for bad guys to show up so I can defeat them is not what I do.